Well, hey, Southern Oregon, welcome back to the Real Estate Show. We have such a treat for you today. We get to interview Brandon Toms, the Director of Programs and Operations for Habitat for Humanity. We haven't been able to talk to Brandon for a while. We're going to get all caught up on what Habitat for Humanity is doing, how the resale store on 99 is faring, and all the latest on their builds and community efforts. So Brandon Toms from Habitat for Humanity will be jumping in to the studio here shortly. While we're waiting, let's check on our local statistics for all three counties. Let's start with Jackson County. Jackson County prices year over year this week are up 3%. The average single-family residential home costing $553,938. The number of sold year over year in Jackson County this week were down 25%. We had 46 residential closings this week, and some of that has to do with inventory. The number of listings year over year in Jackson County were up 5%. This week, we had 782 active listings on SOMLS Residential Market, Jackson County. Let's go to Josephine County next. Josephine County prices year over year were neutral. They were 0%, if you will. The average single family home in Josephine County costing $452,411 this week. The number of sold year over year in Josephine County were down 25%, just like Jackson County. We had 18 closings in the residential market in Josephine County this week. And again, having more to do with inventory than anything else. Number of listings year over year in Josephine County this week were up 13%. We had 392 active listings in the residential market in Josephine County this week. Klamath County prices were up 13% year over year this week. The average single family home in Klamath County now costing $360,636. Number of sold year over year for Klamath County were neutral. We had 11 closings on SOMLS in Klamath County residential market this week. The number of listings in Klamath County were up 20%. We had 303 active listings in Klamath County this week on SOMLS. So that's quite a big jump in listings. So overall, our three counties are still mixed. We still think that we're bottoming out in the prices. We do have an election coming up, so we'll see how that brings changes or not to our Southern Oregon real estate. But in the meantime, we're getting ready to have Brandon Toms from Habitat for Humanity coming into the studio soon. He's the Director of Programs and Operations. And it's been a while since we've had Brandon on the show. It's always fun to talk to him. He can bring us up to speed on what kind of challenges Habitat for Humanity is having, what kind of community support they're getting, and what's going on with the actual construction and the local families that are involved in the Habitat for Humanity projects. Welcome back, Brandon. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So Habitat for Humanity is an amazing, amazing force in our valley. How about we start with what it does and who you are and how it's helping Southern Oregonians.
Yeah, well, it's always our hope when we get an opportunity to share who we are, that we are not an unknown, but we understand to some people we have been doing what we do here in the Valley almost for 40 years. And what we do is develop and sell and finance affordable home ownership. We take families that have a need for housing and support them through an incredible process of achieving the American dream, becoming a homeowner. These families are typically anywhere from 80% to 40% of the area median income. for a household of four. I'm looking at my cheat sheet. That's a minimum of 35,000 and a maximum of just under 70,000. So not much
Wow.
money that these people have as an opportunity to afford the benefits of home ownership. And really, what many of them do is break generational cycles of poverty, because we know through home ownership that is the number one access to wealth building in America. And we know the impact on not only the homeowners, but the second generation of the stability that comes from a health standpoint, an educational standpoint, just a well-being overall. So what we do is vital and unfortunately also really, really expensive. It's not a shock to you, and I know probably most of your listeners that the cost of housing and developing housing and materials and land is more expensive than ever. So it makes what we do that much more challenging, but I guess that much more fun in the end. So every time we're able to close on a house and hand those keys over to a new family, it's certainly cause for celebration. Um, and we're just blessed to be able to continue doing what we do.
Multi-generational poverty. That is a huge chain to break. Do we have any stats on where people are coming from? Are they locals? So many people in Southern Oregon are transplants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
any
what we do know, Alice, is that it's very important to us that the individuals we serve are from this community. So we have a
awesome.
very simple requirement that you must live and work in Jackson County and have done so for at least a year before we're able to offer our program to you. And that's really an important thing. There are so many rumors or misunderstandings about what our program is. We build and sell homes to individuals that are permanent residents or United States citizens. We build and sell homes to people that are residents of Jackson County. We build and sell homes, and that in itself is a misconception. We are not the Publishers Clearinghouse. We do not hand someone the keys to a property. We sell them the home and they have a mortgage, albeit not a traditional mortgage. It's a zero interest. We carry that note for them for the cost
Wow.
of construction. And a typical habitat payment, including escrow, taxes, and insurance, is anywhere from $650 to $1,000 a month. So about a
Wow.
third of what a typical $350,000 home may cost someone. And we're just, again, so lucky to be able to do what we do, and lucky to be able to partner with incredible families. Not only are they buying these homes and making a payment, they're also working really hard for them. It's required that each family put in a minimum of 500 hours of sweat equity. That's
Wow.
building alongside our volunteers, supporting our restore operation, helping us at events, thanking volunteers. And they also have to complete a 10-course education curriculum. It's a different mindset when you transition someone from a rental situation into the responsibility of being a homeowner. It comes with dealing with problems immediately so they don't compound into something bigger, whether it be through home maintenance or homeowners insurance. We have a whole class about homeowners insurance. To being a good neighbor. What's an HOA? What are Medford municipal codes? Have to cut my weeds down. I can't have my garbage strewn around. So we really invest so much in making sure that the partner families we can build alongside are set up for as much success as possible.
That's awesome. And people don't understand that there is a mindset. And if you're talking about multi-generational poverty, how to break that cycle through home ownership, there's multi-generations of habits and understandings, and some of the understandings are correct and some maybe not so much. So I love that you have this 10 course educational program. How long does that does that take? If somebody, is accepted into your program, how long does the education take?
It's about a 30-hour investment. So
Wow.
we give a class every other week for a few months. And each class is about 2 hours. There's one HUD requirement class that's an 8-hour class, which just goes over what are my closing costs? What's a title
Oh,
company
that's
for?
good.
It's a
Yeah.
great class that we partner with Access to deliver to our homeowners. And the other ones range anywhere from, like I said, being a good neighbor to budgeting to credit 101 to public speaking to how do I tell my
Oh,
story. We really want to elevate them and set them up for as much success as we possibly can.
yeah. Wow. That's very thorough and very kindly, actually. Um, Most people don't understand the closing process. So good for you guys.
Yeah, we that's important. There's so many numbers and papers flying that we've got to make sure they understand.
Yeah. So, in the minute we have left before we have to go to a commercial break, how did you get involved with Habitat for Humanity?
I started as a volunteer. I was a branch manager for US Bank for many years, and I was serving families as a family partner. And then one day there was some staff that left the organization, and they were in a lurch. And I thought, well, if I can get the numbers to add up, let's make the jump. And it was scary and it was unexpected and serendipitous how it all happened. And I'll tell you, Alice, it'll be 10 years. And I am thankful every day for what I get to do and have no plans of looking back. I truly believe I have one of the best jobs ever that
Oh, you're going to make me cry. We got to take a quick commercial break. Brandon Toms, Director of Programs and Operations, Habitat for Humanity. We'll be right back after a quick word. Well, hey, Southern Oregon, welcome back to the Real Estate Show. I'm Alice Lema. I'm a broker here in um, John L. Scott Real Estate, and I'm so excited to get to talk to Brandon Toms again. He's the Director of Programs and Operations for Habitat for Humanity. And right before the break, we were just talking a little bit about how you actually got into it, and you said it's been 10 years, and you started as a volunteer. Let's hear just a little bit more about your journey.
yeah, I was a volunteer for probably 5 years before they really were in a position of moving forward with all the mortgage Dodd-Frank changes, and
Oh,
I had
yeah.
that experience. And not only are we a developer and a housing provider, we're a lender, and so we have to meet all of those wonderful federal and state requirements for how to do things on the up and up. So I had that skill to bring to the table, and then when you live a lifestyle of nonprofit, you just figure out how many more titles you can add to your business card. And I think I've got it full for now, but it's been such a rewarding and incredible process. And I am one of a strong and fierce team. There's 7 of us in this little office, and we do incredible things. We make magic happen for sure.
Yes, you do. You really do. And just a reminder that the people that are receiving the houses or buying the houses from you go through a very intense vetting process. So typically, what does that look like right in the beginning? Do people call you up? Do they come to your office? How do they
Yeah.
find you?
We've finally got it dialed in. So what happens is we can only accept applications during 30-day application windows, and that's because there's a clock ticking when you apply for our program for how
Oh,
long we have to respond to you from a federal standpoint. So we accept those applications for 30 days, and they're usually tied to a specific project. We just finished accepting applications for an upcoming build in Ashland, of all places. Exciting to build there again. And once we accept those applications, we verify their credit and make sure that they don't have a significant amount of outstanding debt or liens and judgments, which just sets someone up for failure from the beginning if we can't get those dealt with when we sell them such an asset like a home. But after we verify their credit and their income, we visit them at their home. How well are
oh,
they doing with their situation? Is everything they're telling us about why they need a hand up opportunity. Is all that on true? Can we verify the information that they're sharing? And then once that's done, we score everyone based on a need scale to keep it fair and equitable. And those that qualify, that have the highest need, they really rise to the top. And we do a final interview, just kind of double checking that they're ready to sign on to this and they have the stability in life to commit to us for a year to year and a half. And then they become a part of the family, and we begin building, and they begin their education. And from the moment they apply to the moment they purchase their home, obviously there's snafus along the way at times, but it's typically anywhere from 9 months to 18 months, as we find them the right spot and build them a beautiful home and get them educated and time to get their sweat equity hours and all of that. I'll tell you though, the decision is not on me, and I'm thankful that I don't have that responsibility. But I'm supported by a group of volunteers, many realtors, many bankers, many people who know what opportunity this brings, and they are volunteers that form the Family Services Committee, and they make sure we're following the rules, and they shepherd people through the process and support them and kick them in the rear when they need a little encouragement. And it's a wonderful bond and the really essential way to have a champion in their corner from community that's helping them through to the end. And it takes the burden and the it takes the emotion out of having to select somebody, because if I was in charge of it, we'd just have to select them all because everybody needs help. It's just really expensive to have an opportunity to move forward here in the valley.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of volunteer support. I didn't realize that the Family Services Committee was as robust as it is, and you only have seven volunteers, or seven staff, I'm sorry, in your office. So good
Yeah,
for you being able to bring in all that volunteer.
takes a village. We have about 600 active volunteers each
Do
year.
you really?
Each house takes
Wow.
2,000 hours to build.
Wow.
So yeah, it takes a lot.
2,000 hours. So how much support are you getting from the building community?
Um, it's tough, they have a problem finding employees and skilled labor to be able to do what they're doing, and demand isn't going away, as you know.
Yeah.
So they're challenged too, and we have some incredibly supportive organizations, PowerPoint or Pressure Point and GM Roofing, through a national sponsorship, help us get each
Oh, that's
house we do roof.
awesome.
They're incredible. We have some plumbers that give us great discounts, some countertop companies that do good for us. Um, no one's walking in, plumbing a house for free, unfortunately, Alice, but they give support where they can, and we completely understand. But it's the volunteers that make it affordable for us, or we
Hmm.
would never be able to do what we do.
So what kind of volunteer skill sets are you getting, and what other kinds of skill sets do you need?
Well, obviously, if anyone's got skilled labor they'd like to donate, like the tradesperson, we'd be drooling, frothing at the mouth for the opportunity. But the really nice thing about Habitat is we're willing to teach you. As long as you can do what we need you to do safely and you have the physical ability to do it, we have volunteer leads and staff on the construction site that can show you what you're doing. They can teach you.
That's
You just
wonderful.
need to be willing to give it a try. The average age of our volunteer is probably 70 to 75 years old.
Really?
Oh yeah, and they climb ladders and sweat and swing hammers just like the best of them. It really is a wonderful community. You make new friends, you meet incredible people, from attorneys to foresters to school lunch ladies, you name it. We've got them in our volunteer fold, part of our volunteer family, and we always use more help, that's for sure, especially on Fridays. If somebody's free on Fridays, we need
And
builders.
why is that? Why is Friday a
I don't
special day?
know. I guess these retired people just enjoy that extra day of R&R, but it's been hard to fill our Friday builds.
I
So,
bet they're going to the lake.
yeah, probably.
Oh my gosh. So the rehab store that you have on Highway 99, how
Yeah.
does that all loop in with what you guys are doing?
That is the biggest blessing. Our restore is known for selling home improvement items. So they have tools and construction materials and furniture and electronics and lighting and a couple different lines of a very inexpensive but high quality paint. And so it's the best kept secret in town. Most of the items there are donated to us so we can sell them for a profit to do what we do. And the restore actually almost covers all of our administrative costs so that as we
Wow.
fundraise, we can just shove all of that money into buying boards and nails and building as many houses as we can. So the restore is just a vital part of our organization and the key to our success.
Well, and it's a really fun store to go through, and it's different every time you
Every
go
day,
in.
they
Yeah.
bring new stuff out every single day.
Yeah. And I didn't realize you were selling tools now. Do you have furniture and other items?
Yeah, furniture's our number one seller. We
Is
have
it?
doors, we have cabinets, we have jetted tubs, we have windows, you name it, we've got it over there. And if we
Yeah.
don't, come back next week. I'm sure we'll have it.
Yep. That's awesome. And then is it tax deductible when you spend money in the restore?
Not when you spend money in the restore. When you donate
That's
items to
fine.
the restore,
Okay.
you get a tax deduction slip, as well as when you make donations monetarily directly to our home building, that also you get a receipt that
Mm-hmm.
has tax
Mm-hmm.
advantages to it.
So if somebody has donation items in good shape for resale, how do they get them to you for the
Yeah.
restore?
Well, the first thing to do is to look online. And when you look at our website, there's a restore section that'll tell you what kind of items we're able to take.
Okay.
We also have a crew that goes out and picks things up. They can't go in your house, but they can go in your garage or your carport or curbside. There's no cost to pick up items from your house. You can schedule that online, or you can bring items to us Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 4. Our guys out in the drive-through bay would be happy to accept
You
your
have a
donation.
drive-through bay.
Yeah, you can just,
Oh my
you don't
gosh, you
even have
don't
to get
need
out
to
of
get
your
out of your
car. Not at all.
car. That's awesome. Whoever's idea that was great.
It works out, let me tell you.
So we're talking to Brandon Toms, the Director of Programs and Operations for Habitat for Humanity. We are going to have to take a quick break. Sorry, Brandon, just hang on.
No
We want to
worries.
say thank you to the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors. We appreciate your support bringing the show every week. Guy Giles Mutual Mortgage and our very own John L. Scott, Ashland and Medford. We appreciate our sponsors very, very much. Gives us the opportunity to talk to people like Brandon of Habitat for Humanity. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Do not touch that dial. Well, welcome back to the Real Estate Show, folks. I'm here with Brandon Toms, the Director of Programs and Operations of Habitat for Humanity. Great conversation. During the break, we were starting to talk a little bit about what you're actually building. Let's hear what you're building and where.
We're so busy, Alice, and building more spread out than we ever have before. We are in Ashland. We are currently constructing two homes in the Beach Creek subdivision off of North Mountain, just below Mountain Meadows on the road there. And these are beautiful homes for two families that are actually already part of the Ashland fabric and community. And they're so excited for the
Oh,
opportunity to
yeah.
achieve homeownership. You and I know, as well as everyone else, Ashland and Jacksonville are like the pinnacles of unaffordable housing. And the opportunity to be able to do what we do in the Ashland community, it was a huge blessing. So we've got those two, and then to our surprise, we got a phone call from community, and this never happens. A donor says, I have this parcel of land. I'll be willing to sell it to you for pennies on the dollar. Just make sure you can build houses on it.
Oh, that's
Oh
wonderful.
my goodness, was it wonderful? It was the biggest blessing. And so we took a look, and you know what? We can build four houses on it. and they were willing to hold the property while we submitted through planning, and planning approved
Wow.
everything. It was, I can't even tell you.
Wow.
It was such a blessing. And planning has approved it, and we just finished up accepting applications for homeowners. So we'll wade through those applications and find some awesome people we can support with homeownership in Ashland. And then in Medford, we have a rehab house that we're working on, and then we're building a home off of Grandview, which is connected to a large parcel of property, just under 2 acres that we own off of Grandview and Alcan. And we're going to build 12 more houses there. And last week on the 13th, we just got approval from the Planning Commission. So we are just got the bids in for the infrastructure, and we are ready to rock and roll.
Wow. Wow.
It's
So 12 houses on
yeah.
2 acres. How big are the houses?
They're going to be about 1,100 square feet. There'll
Okay,
be
that's good size.
two-story townhouse units. Everybody will have their own yard, their own zero lot line. It's going to be great. We're so excited.
Wow, congratulations. That's quite a coup.
It's going to be an investment. It's just to put
Yeah.
streets and infrastructure in is probably going to be 750,000, probably about
Oh,
700,000.
wow.
But again, we have a supportive community, incredible volunteers. We'll just pinch every penny and make it work. So we're excited
Yeah.
to kick that off. That's been approved by planning, like I said. And then we're even all the way down in Rogue River. We're finishing up 2 builds in Rogue River on a subdivision that we started probably 8 years ago called Dove Place. We already have 4 families in there. We've got 2 more ready to close next month, and they're just so eager to get those keys and buy their homes. And that's got us busy enough. We've got a couple other pockets of property throughout the valley that we'll start developing out once we get moving ahead on these. But we're just in a season of abundance and a season of a whole lot of work, but we're so excited.
Well, and I'm so proud of you. That's an amazing number of acres to have been able to acquire, and having a donor be willing to not only let that property go to you, but to hold it so that you could go through planning, because the planning process is kind of rigorous, and it's not as awful as some places, but we still have a process to go through, and that definitely takes time.
And let me tell you, Alice, we do not get any concessions because we're
That
affordable
was my next
housing.
question. Do they cut you some discount?
No. There are deferments that happen, and sometimes there may be like housing opportunity fund dollars available. But we follow the same requirements as any other builder, whether we're making a profit or not. And if I were a skilled engineer and a skilled planner, I would be making far more money somewhere else. I'm not. I just have a big heart and can't say no.
Right.
And so we rely on these people to support us, and they can't always do it for free, and it's very expensive.
Hmm.
Amy Gunter is a planner,
Oh,
and
she's wonderful.
she is
Very
she is
smart woman.
incredible. And we're
Yeah.
so lucky to have her on our board, and she's been essential with this Ashland and Medford project, getting it going and keeping it moving forward. But yeah, it's a trying thing. There are days when you just want to pull your hair out, but we find a solution and we make it through. And I think it's also important too to remember that everybody has to start out somewhere.
Hmm.
And I hope if people ever hear of a Habitat for Humanity development coming into their neighborhood, that they really just dig in and learn what it's all about. Learn how much we invest in these families to make them successful. Learn about how the association's going to work before you let that NIMBYism, that not in my backyard, and the fear of change creep in. Um, we're not the enemy, and we actually do wonders for the values of your property, and we bring in some really great, incredible neighbors that I would be happy to have moving in next door to me.
Hmm.
Um,
Do you get pushback from neighborhood?
lately it's been bigger than normal.
Mm.
As we
Well,
as
mhm,
bigger developments,
mhm.
and when you're working with infill lots, you've got an established community and they're concerned about what's going to happen and who's going to be there. Rightfully so, and I understand.
Mm-hmm.
One good thing though is that all our whole team is here ready to squash a rumor or help you understand or talk through a concern because we know that we're bringing in great people and we build a quality product and we will do nothing but be a benefit, an added value to
Mm-hmm.
whatever
And
it
these
is
are
we're doing.
homeowners. These are not rentals. These are people that are owner occupied.
Yep, they pay the same property tax as everybody else. Their properties are insured. They even have additional covenants in their mortgage that you and I don't have, just to make sure that things are always on the up and up.
Mm-hmm. So the city of Medford does offer discounts just in general for certain agreements. I think one of them is the no Airbnb for 10 years. Is that something that Habitat could take advantage of?
You know,
Or
anything that's there, we have obviously a wonderful relationship with planning and public works in the
Mhm.
city of Medford. And they shepherd us through the process as much as they can. In my mind, there's so many challenges with affordable housing. I think it should be free, but I guess there's rules to why we can't do that. But it would make our dollars go further. But anytime they can give us some concessions, they do. There's just by design not many of them there to try to keep things fair and equitable
Mhm.
with those wanting to develop on parcels that
Yeah.
they own as well.
Yeah, and one of the reasons Oregon is so beautiful to live in is because of a lot of the planning rules. So it's a double-edged sword, and unfortunately, you're bearing the brunt of that. But good for you for keeping it all going. So you've got 12 builds you're working on in Medford on the Grandview Alcan,
Yeah.
4 in Ashland,
Yep. Well,
and
two under construction, four
uh-huh,
more.
4
We got
more.
one
Okay,
under construction on Grandview and 12 more coming.
wow,
And then the two on the one over off of Ross, and then that's the rehab house, and then the two in Rogue River.
wow. That's a lot to have on your plate all at the same time.
It sure is. We haven't even talked about our home repair programs yet.
Oh, uh, okay. We've got a couple of minutes. Do you want to jump to that? And
Yeah, so one of the biggest things is our ramp program. We had an opportunity about a year and a half ago to dedicate some of our general funds to building ramps. There was another agency providing ramps and they ran out of resources. And so we have just been inundated. Last year we did over 25 ramps just for
wow.
people who physically cannot get out in and out of their home safely. I get letters and phone calls, probably from more than our homeowners that we support, from people that just tell us how life-changing the ramp has been. So we have a
Oh, I
whole
bet.
separate volunteer crew that just goes out and builds these ramps for people. And we've been able to secure enough funding that most of these homeowners we build ramps for don't ever have to pay a penny.
And they get to stay in their home.
For $1,200 investment of materials, we're able to absolutely unlock people from the anguish and turmoil and the safety issues they've had just to be in their own home.
Now, see, and that's a donation that some of the smaller donors could really get behind. Um,
Absolutely, you could sponsor a ramp for $1,200 and I sound like a broken record, but it is absolutely life-changing.
yeah, it is. Well, and a lot of us have elders or handicapped family members. Um, it's the difference between, being on their own and not being on their own.
Yeah, calling the fire department and emergency management services every time you need to go to a doctor's appointment is not sustainable and
Oh
expensive.
yeah. See, people don't realize that's the alternative. We're talking to Brandon Toms, Director of Programs and Operations, Habitat for Humanity. Got to take another quick break and say thank you to our sponsors. We'll be right back with more great info from Brandon. Don't go away. Well, hey, Southern Oregon, welcome back to the Real Estate Show. We're talking to Brandon Toms, the Director of Programs and Operations from Habitat for Humanity. Just a quick reminder that this episode will repeat tomorrow, Sunday at 8 a.m. So you can hear Brandon talk about all the great things that Habitat for Humanity is doing, some of the challenges, and how you can help. So thanks again, Brandon, for being back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we were talking about some of the locations and the builds that you're doing and the home repair program. We were talking about ramps right before we went to the commercial break.
Yeah, ramps are an exciting thing. We've also got a top secret, and I'm going to spill the beans,
Are
and
you?
everybody will be mad, but we're also working on a pretty incredible home repair program, a critical repair program through partnerships with the City of Medford and through some other funding to help people that need critical home repairs to keep their home habitable, whether it be sewer lines or roofing or uh,
That's
I'll
all
just I'll leave
expensive
it
stuff.
there. But big stuff that a lot of low income
Wow.
families can't help. There's some things coming down the pike to expand. Like hopefully we'll have time to. I know it'll all come together and be fine. But it's just exciting stuff coming down the pipe, and that look forward to more of that. And anyone can always follow us on social media, and of course via our website roguevalleyhabitat.org. We love Facebook and Instagram, so you'll be sure to hear about it there as well. But that's coming down the pipe. I wouldn't be surprised if we're ready to launch that by the end of the year.
Wow. Well, we'll have to have you back on and hear more about it.
I could talk about that for another hour for sure.
How exciting. How exciting. So you've got quite a few builds going on. You have your home repair program and your ramp program, and this is all very comprehensive and helping a lot of different parts of our community.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not without challenge, though, that's for sure.
So let's
I,
hear about some of the challenges that you guys have.
yeah, I think the biggest, Alice, is land. Um, you mentioned before Oregon has some land use restrictions and rules in place, especially our urban growth boundary to protect our green space. And so it drives up the cost. And we can build on onesie and twosie infill lots in the middle of town as much as they rarely come available. But making a big impact with a 15 or 20 unit development would be incredible. So obviously, if someone has some land and they're willing to support an organization doing incredible things, we'd be more than happy to talk to them. Big land and small land. We would love an opportunity to show you what we can do and the benefits we can provide to them.
So how would that
Um,
be if you had that big of a project? If somebody came to you and said, I've got this parcel, we want to donate it, because people can donate land to you, right?
You sure can. That's how we got our property in Rogue River where we did Dove Place. And they can donate. And it would just be us completing our due diligence, making sure that there are city utilities available and that it's an acceptable place for us to annex into our program and that we can make the investment to make it buildable if it's not shovel ready. If it is shovel ready, gosh, you'd be our savior. But we understand that too. So yeah, land is our biggest challenge. And then volunteers, like I said, we are always in need of people that have big hearts and time available. And you don't need to be trained or skilled. We're here to help you show you how to do it our way. And that's a big thing. And then we encounter little bumps in the road. We had last week, we had a job trailer disappear from our job site in Rogue River, which,
Oh, I saw that on the news. What happened?
well, in the middle of the night, someone decided to take advantage of an opportunity and found a way to hook up to one of our job trailers at the Rogue River site and drive away. Yeah,
I
this
can't
particular
believe.
trailer, it was a $20,000 hit, which wasn't it
Oh,
was frustrating. And from a sentimental point too, Alice, that trailer had been with us for well over 50 builds, and so many of our volunteers that are no longer with us have helped us adapt and get that trailer to where it was the number one in the fleet. And to see it go is frustrating, but luckily we were insured, and again, we live in a supportive community. We've had donations come in to replace tools, and we'll have to look to purchase another trailer, but we encounter things like that from time to time too, and it's
that
just
is so
frustrating.
terrible. Did they catch him?
No, we haven't hide nor hair of it. We've not seen. Rogue River Police Department's got that case and they're keeping their eyes open for anything they can find, but no, haven't seen it.
Well, that's just terrible, just terrible. So have you been able to make up that $20,000 loss through donations yet?
Oh no, not we haven't had donations of that amount. Like I said, we were insured, so we're dealing with that process. But the
Oh, that's
replacement
good.
value is never quite where we were at for the loss. But we welcome any community support from individuals that have it in their heart and have the capacity to support replacing that trailer and those
Hmm.
tools. And
Yeah, so if somebody has tools that they want to buy and bring you, or they have good working tools, how would they get those to you?
yeah, you can donate tools to us at our administrative office. And if it's something we can use on the job site, we'll take it there and deploy it and get it in good use. If it's not something we can use on the job site, we'll get it over to the restore and they'll sell that. And the money
Oh,
they
there you
get will,
go.
yeah, it'll help us uh, build houses on that end. Also, if you're wanting to go out and purchase tools, I recommend just making a donation to us monetarily. There's oftentimes ways for us to purchase new tools that would get us a better price than what you could get as a
Oh, good to
consumer.
know.
Yeah, or it may like maybe we don't need a Ryobi drill because we have 20 Milwaukee batteries. So just little things like that that we can avoid pitfalls with. But
Yeah, good-hearted people don't always think that.
right, right.
That's so funny.
But I'm glad you bring that up because this specific trailer was broken into about 6 or 7 years ago, and then we fortified it and put bars all around it. But when that happened, the outpouring from community of tools and saws, and we just live in an incredibly caring and giving valley, and we're so thankful for the great support we receive.
Well, and I'm glad, and we sure wish the Rogue River Police the best of luck in finding out who did that. And if they're listening, please bring it back because it's a
Yeah,
community asset.
we would love to have it back. No
People,
questions asked.
no questions asked. So let's talk a little bit more about the support that the community can give Habitat for Humanity and all the different ways people can help.
Yeah, if you're a skilled tradesperson and you're wanting to come out and help us on a build, or if you work at a place that might have products we can use in our construction and you'd like to donate, give us a call. If you're a volunteer with extra time, whether it be on the job site or in our restore, we do orientations almost every Thursday at 4 p.m. and you can register for
Really?
those. Yeah, we want to,
Every
we have
Thursday.
we got slots to fill. So
Wow.
you can register for those on our website, roguevalleyhabitat.org. Um, if you have money or land to donate, we're happy to connect with you through that process. We also have a significant support system that have decided to leave legacy gifts to our affiliate, which is a gift in your estate or your will
That's
to our
very
builds in our
wonderful.
organization. We've had a couple of very generous individuals pass on in the last couple of years that have uh, given us the ability to build a house or two. So we're always thankful for such a thoughtful gift like that. And even just your well wishes and your prayers help us get through to connect the dots and keep fighting through headwinds and overcoming challenges as they might come our way.
Yeah, it's a constant uphill climb, isn't it, for a nonprofit? But you guys are just amazing and just doing great. Let's give website, phone numbers again. How do
Yeah,
people
you can
reach out
reach our
directly?
admin office at 541-779-1983. You can visit our website, roguevalleyhabitat.org. You can also call the Restore, 541-773-9095. And we are on every social media. We even have a TikTok. So if you want, we put up
Oh,
a video today. We put a cat cam on Habitat. We have a cat that lives in the Restore, and we put a
yes,
cat
you
cam on
do.
her. And so she had a little video that went up on social media today as well. So that's fun. You should check that out.
That is super fun. And once again, you don't have to have any experience. We only have about 20 seconds left.
No, come as you are. We've had individuals even in wheelchairs, and we found an opportunity in the restore for them to help give back and make an impact on our mission as a whole. So I'm sure we can find a place to plug you in. We do have a minimum age of 14 in order to help in the restore, and 18 to be on the job site. But again, all that information we can share with you at our orientations if you get signed up via our website.
So, Brandon Toms, Director of Programs and Operations, Habitat for Humanity, thank you with all my heart for coming on the show again.
Thanks for having us. We
And
love
folks,
the
give
opportunity.
generously. They're doing a great thing for our community.
Thank you.
Have a great Southern Oregon weekend. Bye now.